The manhwa begins with a scene where a young boy named Qin Jinyang is seated against a wall outside a house. He's just finished brooming the area, and as he rests, a man approaches him, carrying a bowl of soup. Qin Jinyang, the boy, looks at the soup in his bowl and can't help but think to himself, shit, it's another bowl of swill again. This implies that he's not very impressed with the quality of the food he's receiving. The man who brought him the soup is introduced as Goa Hu. He addresses Qin as Brother Qin and mentions something about intentionally leaving a large piece of chicken skin on its butt just for Qin. As Qin looks at the chicken in his soup, he quietly reflects on his situation. He mentions that it has been 3 years since he transmigrated into this world, and those 3 years have been incredibly difficult. He compares his current circumstances to his past life when he had a demanding overtime work schedule, but suggests that those days were better than his current situation. Qin also thought, in the novels, people who transmigrate often receive cheat skills or abilities, but he seems to have only received the potato peels. He contemplates whether he will ever receive his cheat skill, and in his desperation, he considers starving to death with the hope of transmigrating into a better family. Qin then shifts his attention to Goa Hu, who seems to be enjoying his meal very quickly. He asks Hu how he finishes eating so fast, and Hu responds, "Brother Qin, I've heard from my elders that the chicken heads are poisonous. You see, I have a robust body. For your sake, I am willing to try whether it is really poisonous. How about it?" Qin contemplates Hu's statement and thinks about the supposed poison in chicken heads. He seems skeptical, mentioning that there are no heavy industries in this world, so he questions where the poison would come from. Just as Qin is about to eat the chicken head, a system window suddenly pops up, asking if Qin is willing to donate a chicken head to help Hu fulfill his dream of taking the poison test. Qin agrees to the request. Qin then turns to Hu and asks if he's sure he's not afraid of the poison. Hu, in response, reassures Qin and says he'll take up the offer, emphasizing that being starved is scarier than the potential poison. Afterward, the system window appears again, indicating that Qin has generously allowed a young man to experience the toxicity within his human body, and he is rewarded with potential value points. Qin's status window also pops up, showing his identity as a servant of Helan Mountain Villa, and his physical foundation stat, which is described as rotten mud physique 0/10 with the next stage being decayed wood physique. Qin is overwhelmed with joy, believing that his hard work over the past 3 years has finally paid off, and he thanks Mother Nature for these rewards. He's particularly excited that he's finally received his cheat skill. Amidst his celebration, Hu notices Qin's emotional state and encourages him not to cry. He promises to treat Qin to some sheep offal. Hu's thoughts reveal that he believes Qin must have had a difficult past to be crying so intensely. Hu suddenly announces that he needs to leave for work and tells Qin to wait for him. A while later, Qin orders the system to add 1 point to his physical foundation stats. The system confirms the increase in his physical foundation stats, and Qin feels the hazy and heavy feeling in his mind fading away. His physical pain diminishes, and he perceives his thoughts as no longer sluggish. After some time has passed, Qin reflects on the importance of one's physique in this world. He realizes that with a good physique, one's physical abilities, talents, and comprehension can all improve. He credits Hu for his newfound progress. Qin then inquires about Hu's whereabouts, asking another person if they know where Goa Hu went. The person seems surprised that Qin is unaware of the recent developments and informs him that Whole Master has chosen Goa Hu as the attendant disciple of Feng Duiying. Qin asks what an attendant disciple does, and the person explains that they serve alongside formal disciples, assist them, and have the opportunity to interact with more influential and powerful individuals. Suddenly, a person announces that dinner is ready, and everyone gathers round. Qin quickly moves to receive his meal and reflects on how his thoughts and reactions have become more sensitive and agile. Even the act of grabbing food has become effortless, thanks to his improved physique. Qin invites everyone to come closer and offers to serve the chicken heads to them. Other people in the crowd express surprise at his generosity, mentioning that he was starving a while ago, but is now giving away his food. One person calls Qin stupid for not realizing that there was no poison in the chicken heads. However, an old man praises Qin for his kindness, calling him a great man. Qin considers that he will receive more potential value points in return for the things he gives away, which makes his actions worthwhile. The system window appears again, indicating that Qin generously and selflessly fed others while he was starving. As a result, he's rewarded with potential value points. Qin becomes frustrated, realizing that he gave away more than 20 chicken heads but only received 1 point in return. At this point, he hears Hu's voice, and Hu calls him over. Other servants gather round to congratulate Hu on becoming Feng Duing's attendant disciple. Hu doesn't respond to the congratulations and asks Qin why he gave away all the chicken heads. He questions whether Qin genuinely believed they were poisoned, and then presents a surprise for Qin. Other servants express their interest in seeing the surprise, and there's an apparent change in their attitude towards Hu. Afterward, Hu shares the roasted chicken with Qin, and Qin comments on Hu's luck. He explains that being an attendant disciple is much better than being a servant, and hints that becoming a formal disciple could lead to an even better life. While Hu explains that being an inner disciple is not easy, and they face harsh punishments and tasks, including copying manuals. He notices that senior brother Feng Duing is busy copying manuals even though it's already dark outside. Qin reflects on his own past life, where he had to do a job similar to copying manuals, and he decides that he would rather peel potato skins than go through such a crisis again. The system window pops up, suggesting that manuals are a source of infinite wisdom and asking if Qin is willing to copy them voluntarily to provide knowledge to those in need. Qin turns to Hu and says, "Old comrade, I need you," Hu responds warmly, expressing that he also feels like having Qin's company and considers Qin his brother. Qin clarifies that he needs Hu to introduce him to senior brother Feng Duing so that he can help him copy books. As night falls, young Master Feng Duing finds himself struggling with the daunting task of copying manuals. Goa Hu, a trusted servant, knocks gently on the door of young Master Feng's room. Feng Duing, surprised by the late visit, questions why Hu is here at this hour. He insists that Hu doesn't need to stay up with him and should go rest. Curiosity piqued, Feng Duing notices Qin Jinyang standing behind Hu and inquires about the young boy. Hu explains that Qin Jinyang is a friend he made since joining this place as a servant and adds that Qin can write to some extent. Furthermore, Qin is eager to assist Feng Duing in copying manuals. Feng Duing is understandably skeptical, as Qin is, after all, a servant. He expresses concerns about the disparity in handwriting between Qin and himself, as this could be discovered and result in dire consequences. However, Qin steps forward with a bright gleam in his eyes and offers to try. He suggests that their handwriting might align, while Hu vouches for Qin's capability. Feng Duing hesitates but eventually agrees to let Qin give it a try. Nevertheless, he warns Qin about the repercussions if he were to deceive him. Both Feng Duing and Qin take their seats, and Hu stands nearby, watching attentively. Qin observes Feng Duing's writing style and begins copying it meticulously. After some time, Feng Duing is shocked by the quality of Qin's work. He can hardly believe his eyes and exclaims that Qin's handwriting is incredible and practically indistinguishable from his own. Qin modestly reveals that before joining the servant hall, he used to assist his godfather, a fortune teller, in copying charms and seals. Qin pondered to himself, "During my school days I used to forge my parents' signatures on all exam papers." He never anticipated that his ability to imitate handwriting would come in handy here. In addition, to his astonishment, the manual they are copying happens to be a martial arts technique, which he considers a jackpot. The system window pops up, indicating that the mission has been accomplished. Feng Duing, appreciative of Qin's contribution, rewards him with 5 silver taels. Feng Duing hints that he may offer more when he has a more flexible budget. Qin is grateful for the recognition and can't help but admire senior brother Feng for his potential wealth. System window pop-up showing information. As a real man, one should regard money as dirt. Will you refuse it? After reading the system window, Qin state, I don't want this money. And explain, I came here to copy manuals because of my friendship with brother Hu, and I admire senior brother like it. System window pops up providing information about mission completed reward. Qin decides to allocate all 2 points to his physical foundation stats, believing that this will enhance his efficiency in copying manuals and clear his mind. Feng Duing kindly offers to pay Qin up to 100 silver taels for his help with manual copying, demonstrating a strong sense of gratitude. He asks Hu to escort Qin back to the servant hall and assign him easier tasks. Both Hu and Qin express their sincere thanks, and they show their appreciation to senior brother Feng. The following day, in the firewood storage area, Hu informs Qin of his new task, which involves supervising the firewood. Qin is only required to carry firewood during meal times. The other servants willingly offer to assist with carrying the firewood. Hu inquires, brother, what do you think? This job seems quite straightforward, doesn't it? I need to head back now. We'll catch up tonight. Qin nods in agreement and replies, see you later tonight. Qin, with some free time on his hands, decided to delve into the Great River technique. Despite his average aptitude, he remained optimistic about mastering the fundamentals of this ancient practice. He began to explain to himself the hierarchy of cultivation among martial artists. The strength of a cultivator was determined by their realm, starting with the first realm as the lowest and progressing to higher realms. Notably, the level of a cultivator's physical foundation directly influenced their potential for advancing to the next realm. The progression started with the rotten mud physique, followed by the decayed wood physique and the iron tree physique. Possessing the iron tree physique was the minimum requirement for entering the path of cultivation. However, this talent was scarce, and many cultivators spent their lives stuck in the first realm. Above the iron tree physique was the silver flower physique, which allowed cultivators to break through the bottlenecks of the first realm. With diligent practice and the aid of secret techniques and elixirs, it was even possible to reach the third realm. Beyond that was the coveted golden physique, granting a cultivator an almost ethereal path of cultivation. The lord of the Helan Mountain Villa possessed the golden physique and had reached the formidable fifth realm. Further up the hierarchy was the white jade physique, a mystical existence across the Jianghu. Rumor had it that an even more precious jadeite physique existed above it, although it remained a legend. As Qin contemplated the Great River technique, he knew that this practice had a soothing effect on the mind, bringing inner peace. He also understood that those hot-blooded and impulsive martial artists who attempted to copy the technique often found themselves drained and fatigued. In addition to a strong physical foundation, Qin recognized that there were other prerequisites for ascending to the first realm as a martial artist. Cultivators needed to possess a certain abundance and purity of true qi. However, Qin was honest with himself. He acknowledged that his current level in the Great River technique was merely at the entry level, signifying that he had much room for improvement. While engrossed in these thoughts, a voice called out from behind, startling Qin. He turned to find an old man named Lao Liangtu. In a surprised tone, Qin addressed the old man, "So it's you. What has happened?" Lao Liangtu stumbled and fell into Qin, causing both of them to tumble to the ground. In a distressed voice, he implored, "Little brother Qin, I beg you, please save me." Qin advised, "Take a seat first and speak slowly." Old Lao began to explain his dire circumstances, his eyes welling up with worry. "Brother Qin, I might be laid off, and I have nothing left. Outside of this place," he confided, "can you please ask Goerhu to request young Master Feng on my behalf to plead for me to stay here, because this is the only way left for me to survive." Glancing around cautiously to ensure no prying ears were nearby, old Lao handed brother Qin a bag. He nervously continued, "This bag has 200 copper coins. all my savings. Brother Qin, you must help me. Qin, touched by old Lao's plight, replied, "You can keep the money for yourself. Just remind me later, and I will talk to Goahu on your behalf." Old Lao, with a mixture of relief and gratitude, uttered, "It's okay, little brother Qin. You can have it." He handed over the bag of money. He quickly disappeared for his place. While darting away, old Lao couldn't help but shout, "Back, thank you, little brother Qin. You must help me." At a mealtime, Qin pondered to himself, wondering why old Hu had not yet shown up for their usual shared meals. What's taking him so long? Today, as he contemplated, he overheard people talking to each other, their voices filled with shock and concern. "Have you heard? Someone died. Are you serious? Is it really Goahu?" This news sent a shiver down Qin's spine, and he asked loudly, "Who do you say died just now?" A person explained the grim details. "I heard that after paying a visit to young Master Feng, Goahu died on his way back. They say he suddenly spewed out a mouthful of black blood that splattered all over. Then he fell to the ground and passed away." Qin couldn't help but ponder to himself, could it be that the chicken heads are really poisonous? Suddenly, without warning, someone struck Qin from behind with a wooden stick, causing him to collapse to the ground. Before losing consciousness, Qin wondered, "Who is this son of A?" The person who had attacked him angrily declared, "Qin Jinyang, you despicable and cowardly bully." In the servant hall, Qin was tied up with a wooden log, accused by Steward Wang of extorting 200 copper coins from Lao Liangtu. The gathered people warned Qin that if he confessed now, they'd only break his legs and exile him from the mountains. But if the whole master arrived, he'd have no way out. In anger, Qin vehemently denied taking any money from Lao Liangtu, demanding evidence to support the accusation. Steward Wang scoffed at Qin's protests, thinking of his own aspiration to become Feng Duying's attendant disciple now that Goahu was dead. The gatekeeper announced the whole master's arrival, and both Steward Wang and Lao Liangtu greeted him. Steward Wang presented the evidence, mentioning that Lao Liangtu's exclusive mark was on the stolen coins, and they had sent men to search Qin's room. Old Lao reiterated his claim, stating that Qin had blackmailed him using Goahu and young Master Feng's names, threatening exile if he didn't pay. The whole master implied that Lao Liangtu might have tried to bribe Goahu before his death and questioned his motives. Qin asked Lao Liangtu why he was slandering him, to which Lao Liangtu retorted, questioning Qin's own conscience. Inwardly, Lao contemplated betraying Qin to regain his 200 copper coins. Qin was shocked by this remark of Lao. Inside the infirmary, Feng Duying asked the old Hu, "I heard you vomited blood. How do you feel now?" In response, Hu stated, "Young master, I'm all fine now. In fact, I feel more energized than before." Feng Duying turned to the physician and asked, "How come old Hu is perfectly fine, even after vomiting so much blood?" The physician explained, "He must have had stagnant poison in his body and may have accidentally consumed another poison. Since those two poisons happened to neutralize each other, it led to him vomiting out the stagnant poison along with his poisoned blood that had been accumulating all these years." In response, Hu stated, "But I haven't come into contact with any poison recently. The only possibility is that the chicken head brother Qin gave me contained poison." The physician explained, "Since that's the case, it must be that chicken head. Chicken heads don't usually contain much poison, but that poison just happened to nullify the stagnant poison within your body." Who stated, "Then, doesn't this make brother Qin my savior?" "Young master, I have something to ask of you. An old servant is about to be dismissed. Qin Jinyang told me to request on his behalf to arrange a job for him so that he may continue staying here." In response, Feng Duying stated, "No problem. I'll let this old servant clean my courtyard when I return. Qin Jinyang is our lucky star. We can at least do him this favor." Who stated, "Thank you very much, young master. I'll relay this good news to him right away." Feng Duying asked, "What's the rush? It's not as if he'll die if you wait for a while." Meanwhile, the servants returned after completing their task of checking Qin's room. They entered the hall and reported to the master. The steward Wang silently contemplated, thinking to himself, "Qin Jinyang, the evidence is here. Once the hall master gives the order, I will swiftly end your miserable life." The hall master inquired, "What is the situation?" One of the servants responded, "Hall master, this subordinate thoroughly searched and overturned the entire quarter, but couldn't find a single copper coin." Steward Wang was shocked by hearing the report. Steward Wang turned towards Qin and demanded, "How is that possible, Qin Jinyang? Where did you hide the money?" Qin spoke up, addressing the hall master, "I would like to lodge a complaint. I am being framed by Lao Langtu and Steward Wang. Please search Lao Langtu's quarters. The money may be hidden beneath his bed." The hall master issued the order to search Lao Langtu's quarters. In response, the servant acknowledged, "Yes, sir." Steward Wang exclaimed, "Bullshit. Who do you think you are? Why would I frame you?" Lao questioned Qin. "Qin Jinyang, things have already reached this state. Why are you still trying to deny it? At most, I'll burn more paper money for you after you die." Qin retorted, "Lao Langtu, it seems you've been groveling at Steward Wang's feet for the past 2 days." Qin recalled the memory of when he had Lao's money. A system window appeared, instructing him to give the old man his hard-earned money. Qin thought to himself, "I'll return it, since that's what the system says." When Lao Langtu left for work, Qin discreetly placed the money beneath his bed. At that moment, the servant returned with the money in his hands. The hall master asked, "Have you thoroughly checked it?" The servant replied, "Yes, sir." This bag containing exactly 200 copper coins was found beneath the bed in Lao Langtu's quarters. There is no mistaking it. These are all Lao Langtu's copper coins, and they even have marks on them. Lao Langtu silently cursed, "Crap, this bastard, Qin Jinyang, must have found it inconvenient and decided not to help me, so he returned the money. You should have informed me, bastard. You've screwed me over big this time." In the midst of the commotion, whose voice echoed as he shouted for the door, calling out, "Brother Qin, he has done what you asked of him." Steward Wang found himself deep in thought and wondered, "Goer who, didn't he already die?" Undeterred, Hu continued, revealing, "Young Master Feng agreed to let Lao Liang to stay and clean his courtyard." Seeing crowd of people gathered in front of him, Feng Duing inquired, "Why are so many people gathered here?" Then they both noticed Hall Master. With respect, they both greeted, "Hall Master." Steward Wang explained, "Hall Master, this old thief came to complain to me. He was just enforcing the law impartially and thus apprehended Qin Jinyang. He didn't know anything about all this. Following the way of the main hall, he'll kill this old thief right away." The Hall Master intervened firmly, stating, "Stop right there." Who expressed his concern, saying, "Brother, you've had it hard." In response, Qin exclaimed, "Good gracious, Brother Hu, you're fine." The Hall Master, making a decisive move, announced, "Qin Jinyang, I'll pass this sword to you. You may do as you wish regarding Lao Liangtu. It's up to you whether you kill, spare, or slowly torture him." Lao Liangtu pleaded, "Qin Jinyang, I beg you, please spare me. I was wrong, I was blinded by greed. Killing me won't bring you any wealth. My life isn't worth you dirtying your hands. Please spare me." Remembering the man's previous actions, Qin used the sword and swiftly chopped off his head in one strike. A window popped up, displaying the message, "Mission accomplished." He had successfully ended his life and liberated the old man from life sufferings, rewarding potential value, 3 points. Seeing this, the Hall Master commended, "You're quite courageous, Qin Jinyang. From today onwards, you will be the guard of the servant hall. You may patrol with the guard squad tomorrow." Qin expressed his gratitude, saying, "Thank you, Hall Master." The Hall Master then instructed, "Duing, follow me to my study room." In response, Feng Duing obediently replied, "Yes, Father." Who reassured Qin, "There is no need to overthink. You just killed an ungrateful snake. You just received a huge promotion. I'll treat you to a meal to celebrate this occasion later. Qin reflected to himself, at best, gods are bodyguards. This time, everything was entirely down to chance. When I'm framed again, will I be as fortunate? In reality, a person who is excessively kind is only met with death. The world's rule is an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. No matter what, I have to get stronger. At the servant hall, Qin contemplated the unstoppable force of luck that had bestowed upon him. Upon becoming a god, his salary had arrived promptly, leaving him with some time to spare. It was then that he decided to extend an invitation to old Hu for a delightful meal. With a warm smile, Hu exclaimed, "Brother, I finally found you. I've been searching all over for you." In response, Qin joyfully replied, "Old Hu, you've arrived just in time. I was actually planning to seek you out. Have you happened to cross paths with Xiao Guzi, the young one who usually accompanies me on patrol and never leaves my side?" Pointing in a certain direction, Hu remarked, "Are you in search of Xiao Guzi? Isn't he right over there?" In a loud and hearty voice, Qin called out, "Hey, Xiao Guzi!" Xiao Guzi turned around, his voice quivering as he spoke. "Master Qin, Master Hu." Curious, Hu inquired, "What's troubling you, my lad? You seem so downcast. Have you missed your meals or something?" Qin chimed in. "And why are you carrying all those belongings? Where are you headed?" With tears in his eyes, Xiao Guzi shared, "Master Qin, my village has suffered repeated raids by bandits over the years, and this time, an epidemic has taken my parents and sister. I must return home to arrange a proper funeral for them." Filled with compassion, Qin offered, "Xiao Guzi, take this bag with 200 copper coins. Use it to ensure your family receives a dignified funeral." Overwhelmed with gratitude, Xiao Guzi expressed, "Thank you so much, Master Qin." A system notification popped up, displaying crucial information, emphasizing the purity of filial piety and the heart can cleanse the impurities behind dirty money, rewarding potential value. 1 point. In his contemplation, Qin found himself grappling with unease while holding onto Lao Liangtu's money. He firmly believed that the virtuous path was to perform a benevolent deed and bestow all of it upon Xiao Guzi. The system window appeared again, reiterating the paramount significance of filial piety over all else. It posed a question to Qin, inquiring if he was willing to contribute his entire savings to ensure a peaceful rest for the departed. Upon absorbing the message within the system window, Qin declared, "Xiao Guzi, your devotion to filial piety is truly moving, and it has deeply touched my heart. I still possess 2 taels of silver. Take it all and arrange the most honorable funeral. Please, do not refuse." Qin ruminated within himself, "I've just come into this wealth, and yet, I'm already contemplating giving it all away." Xiao Guzi asserted, "Master Qin, you absolutely cannot do this." In response, Qin replied, "Enough talk, hurry and return home." Another system notification appeared, rewarding Qin with a potential value of 3 points. Both Qin and Xiao Guzi observed as the latter departed. Turning to Hu, Qin expressed, "Originally, I had planned to treat you to a splendid meal." Hu responded, "It's no trouble at all. It's a trivial matter. However, after the incident with Lao Liangtu, I suspected you might be disheartened and reluctant to assist others." Qin articulated, "The world consists of both virtuous and unscrupulous individuals. We should not judge the many by the actions of a few wicked ones. Since my time as a god, Xiao Guzi has faithfully served by my side, displaying wisdom and dedication. How could I not support such an admirable young lad?" From a distance, Xiao Guzi shouted, "Master Qin, my life may be insignificant, but even if it's all I have, I will strive to repay your kindness. Whether in this life or the next, or the ones beyond, I shall continue to show my gratitude for generations to come." Hu turned to Qin and exclaimed, "Brother Qin has definitely made the right choice to help him this time." Qin asked in response, "By the way, old Hu, Didn't you say earlier that you were looking for me? Who State replied, Ah yes, I have some great news for you. Come with me, I'll explain on the way. A while later at Feng Duing Quarter, Feng addressed Qin saying, These are all the books my senior and junior brothers want you to copy. Brother Qin, you need to finish copying them as soon as possible. Qin assured, No problem. He guarantees to fulfill senior brother Feng's order without fail. Feng then entrusted the task to Qin, stating, Then he will leave it in your care. Qin thought to himself, if he continues writing like this, it will take him forever to finish this. Maybe he can use the Great River techniques Tru Chi on his hands, copying the work of others to improve proficiency in the Great River technique. Action speaks louder than words. Let him put it into action and see if it works or not. Qin began copying the book with great speed. Feng then instructed his servant, This pile belongs to junior brother Wang, and this one belongs to junior brother Li. Go quickly and deliver them. Also, don't forget to bring back the final payment from them. Qin thought to himself, Yes, as expected, it works. The assistance of Tru Chi is progressively making him able to copy the books faster. Feng State acknowledged, Let's stop here for today, Brother Qin. Your ability to copy the work of 5 people in just one night is truly remarkable. You can come over every night to write the remaining work. Qin replied, Okay, senior brother Feng. Feng State praised Qin, saying, Brother Qin is indeed a rare talent. There aren't many people who I Feng Duing admire. But Brother Qin, you are definitely one of them. Qin humbly responded, Senior brother Feng, you overpraise me. Thanks to you, I can earn so many silver taels. Senior brother Feng, now that I think of it, I feel like I don't need so much money as a god. Don't you also think so? Feng State laughed heartily, knowing that his brother Qin was facing difficulties. As a senior brother, he decided to offer his help. A few days later, Qin sat on a big wooden bench and pondered to himself. He reflected on the past few days of copying books, realizing that he had not only earned a significant amount of money but also improved his physical strength and advanced in the Great River technique to a minor attainment level. He then used his inner chi to try and lift the kettle in front of him, but realized that his control over Tru Chi still needed improvement. He concluded that he needed to learn martial arts and general knowledge to use it more efficiently. However, he knew that the martial arts of the Helan Mountain Villa could only be practiced by formal disciples who had undergone proper training. With no other options, he decided to go down the mountain and try his luck at martial arts schools there. In Wuhe town, Qin marveled at the liveliness, realizing that it was his first time coming down the mountain. Suddenly, he heard a voice from behind, asking for a favor. Old person sitting nearby street, asking if the person could buy 2 little girls from him. The person rudely dismissed the request, not wanting to be bothered. The old man pleaded, explaining that if the girls continued to follow him, they would starve to death. The person responded harshly, claiming that giving the old man a steamed bun was already generous enough and refused to help further. Unable to bear the situation, Qin turned to a nearby shop. Qin requested the shopkeeper to give him 2 buns and put them in a paper bag. The shopkeeper agreed and prepared the order. The old man, still crying, told his daughters that they could share the steamed bun. He blamed himself for their current situation, expressing his inability to grow crops or sell them to provide a chance for his daughters to survive. One of the children comforted their father, urging him not to cry. Moved by their conversation, Qin approached the old man after purchasing the buns. Approaching near the old man, Qin stated while hiding behind a wall, There is some broken silver under the buns in the paper bag beside you. Go back and use it to farm. Don't make too much noise. Hearing that, the old man turned toward his right side and found a bag. After looking inside the bag, he started crying again. The children worriedly asked, Father, are you okay? The old man stated, Bodhisattva, a bodhisattva came to my rescue. Wife, did you see that? I've encountered a living bodhisattva. A system window popped up, showing the information. He saved a struggling family, rewarding potential value. 2 points. Qin stated, the next step of the plan is. Then he heard a voice of a child saying, I can sing and do shameless things. I can also sell myself for my whole lifetime. Another child said, my mother is seriously ill. I am willing to fight for just 1 copper coin. Who wants to fight with me? A notification prompt appeared. Would he help a filial daughter bury her deceased father? Would he help a lost teenager return home? The system asked Qin, is he willing? Is he willing? After all, later, a system window showed information, potential value, 22 points. Qin thought to himself, he really earned so many potential points. In this world, where the weak are preyed upon by the strong, life is so difficult for the common people to live through. If old who were to know that he gave away so many silver taels, he would probably be angry to death. Forget it. Let's not think about these things for now. System. Add all of his potential points into his physical foundation. A system window popped up, showing information. One should refrain from overburning oneself with too many techniques. He cannot upgrade his physical foundation if he is proficient in less than 3 martial arts. Qin felt disappointed after reading the system window. A trio of bandits stands at a distance, observing Qin's peculiar behavior. One of them remarks, hey, do you see that kid over there? He's acting really odd. Is he unwell or something? The person on the left responds, why bother? What matters is that he seems to be carrying money. The person in the middle suggests, let's plan to ambush and rob him once he leaves town.